Okay, so, and we would like to take your hand and walk the walk with you. I even heard, that Chanel, our assistant CEO, mentioned of somebody, in the bathrooms who said, I'm interested to become a teacher, because we also train people to become teachers. And today you become our alumni, and you become our ambassadors, and I want you to take the message back to your schools and encourage your colleagues. I've been working with teachers upgrading their qualifications, for many, many, many years. I think I must have dealt, I said to Dr. Van Rooyen the other day, with over 100,000 teachers over the years, who upgraded, their qualifications. And I know that very often we've got those people who sit on the bench at school, and they say, I just want to see if they're going to get anything. Is it going to work for them? Before they also wake up and they say, well, let me grab this opportunity. If you upgrade your qualification, it's with you for life. You can buy insurance, and that insurance can cancel. But your qualification is with you for life. Even when you go on pension, it follows you. There is no better investment. But that is enough preaching, to you. Today is about celebration. But tomorrow, I want to welcome you back, for the next step and the next qualification. I did not forget you. You remember, that I said, let's honor, the grandfathers and the grandmothers, and all the other people. And you must have thought, but what about us? We are the most important people here today. I have not forgotten you. And I want us, to recognize also the wonderful achievement of the graduates by giving them a warm applause. I thank you. I hope I have finished my speech within 5 minutes. But if 6 minutes, I hope you are taking something home with you today. May you be blessed, and may this really be an occasion that you will remember for the rest of your life. Graduates, go all the way.
Thank you, Mr. Peltzer, for the words of wisdom, enthusiasm, and encouragement. Graduates, as Mr. Peltzer has already alluded to, this is indeed a very special day, considering the many trials and tribulations that has led you here. It is indeed by God's glory and by God's grace. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our esteemed speaker for today. Mrs. Peltzer, the Program Coordinator for the Advanced Certificate in Foundation Phase Teaching.
Good morning, everybody, and I also want to congratulate you and say thank you for this opportunity, for maybe for the last time, for especially the students in foundation phase teaching who completes their studies today, a last word of encouragement to you. Today I would like to talk to you. Should I use this one or switch that one off? Thank you. I'm back. Humans think in pictures. You know that. When somebody tells you something, you don't think of the words that they say, but you think in pictures. So if I say the word table, you don't think of the letters T-A-B-L-E, but in your mind's eye, you see an image of a table. So today, I want to take you on a journey where we visualize what I'm talking about. I want to talk to you about the view from the top. Now, in your mind's eye, you might now be seeing somebody looking down from an airplane, seeing minute people and cars moving to and fro on the earth. Or you might be thinking of somebody looking out of the window of a very tall building or another high place. But today, I would like you to visualize the view from a mountain top. That is quite different from looking from a plane and from a high building. The view from a mountain top. when someone decides to climb a mountain, his vision is certainly to reach the top, but a lot of planning must go into preparing before he can take off. Coming to the foot of the mountain, he might put a backpack on his shoulders, even tie some ropes and other climbing gear around his body to make it possible for him to reach the top. If a climber just keeps on climbing without regularly looking to the top, he might end up in a place where he didn't intend to go. Climbing might be slow and challenging, but hopefully he will now and then reach a place where he can breathe, catch his breath, and enjoy the view. Can you imagine what it must feel like to give that last step and realize I'm standing on the top of the mountain, looking out over the landscape, seeing the horizon? Surely must bring a sense of freedom, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of relief, because the climber achieved what he set out to do. He must certainly be relieved that the suffering and the hard times is over and he can start to celebrate. When you enrolled for this program, you might not have realized that at the time, but it is quite possible to compare your journey with that of climbing a mountain. At times you might have felt you want to give up, turn around, do something else. You might have struggled to keep on going, but you didn't. You kept to it. You took up your backpacks, tied yourself to your chairs, and you studied. And now you have reached the mountaintop. Can you think what it must feel like for a climber to stand on the mountaintop and realize, I've done it. Here I am on the summit of the mountaintop. Now today I want to tell you that you today are giving that last step, and you are standing on the summit, on the mountaintop, and you can celebrate. And we want to celebrate with you. We want to celebrate you. Congratulations, you did it. Well done. We are glad with you. You deserve this qualification and everything that comes with it. Whether it be a new position, move to a new town, a raise in salary, yay. A raise in salary, yeah. Okay, so I'm glad you're still with me. You deserve all of that. And today you should celebrate. You should enjoy what you have accomplished and give the credit to yourself. But unfortunately, as the previous speaker said, we cannot stay on the mountaintop. We will have to eventually go back down to where we came from. But while we are here, I would like you to pause for a moment and just celebrate what we are here to do and share a few thoughts with me, or probably we can call it a few signposts for the future. What you receive here today is not so much a degree or diploma, although that is what we call it, but it is a key to unlock doors to the future. Let us return for a moment to the scene from the mountaintop. Look down from there in your mind's eye. Look down from where you came and see the people coming up behind you. Now that you've reached the top and you've achieved this qualification, remember to never shut the door in the faces of the people coming up behind you. When you look down a little further, look down into the valley in your mind's eye. See your school. Can you see children playing? Can you see the beautiful landscape? It is indeed South Africa, our beautiful country. But if you look a little further to the left, right next to your school, I can see a mountain. Look a little closer with me. Even take the binoculars as if you have to, and zoom in. See what you can see on this mountain. Genocide, the hurt, the pain, the corruption, the murder, war, selfishness. Can you see everything that is causing others pain? We cannot overlook that. That should bring us heartache. That should trouble us when we see all the pain in our country. South Africa, our beautiful country, is it indeed such a beautiful country when we think on the pain and the hurt and everything that is wrong? No, I don't think so. And sometimes the future looks bleak. And I cannot help but think about the learners, the great R2-3 learners, those little 5 to 8 years old in your foundation phase classes, and what it will look like 10 years from now when they are teenagers, unless each one of us take up our backpacks and tie whatever gear is necessary to ourselves and start climbing this mountain to make South Africa a better place. As an educator and a leader, you have an excellent opportunity to lay a foundation in the lives of these learners. And I'm not only referring to an educational, academic foundation, but to a foundation built with values and skills to live a better life in South Africa. Mr. Nelson Mandela said, "The strongest weapon to change a nation is education." I want to tell you 2 stories to demonstrate this point I'm making. And please forgive me for a moment, but can these people standing on the side just for a moment concentrate? I think it's really important that we spend these few moments to just reflect and think about what we will find when we are going home. There will be enough time for you to put your hats on and get everything ready, but can you just stand still for a moment and just try to listen? I'm going to tell you 2 stories, so I promise it won't be boring. The first one is from my own experience. When I started out as a grade 1 teacher at my first school, the next door neighbor was the HOD, and she also taught a grade 1 class. Her little boy went to school for the first time that year, and he was in her class. One morning before school, he bumped his toe quite badly, but they were in a rush. You know how it goes in a busy household, especially when mom is also the teacher. And they rushed to be in time for school. When school started, his mother told him before the time, "At school, you are not allowed to call me mother, you must call me teacher. There, I'm not your mom, I'm your teacher." And when school started, he walked up to his mom's table and he said, "Teacher, do you have a band-aid for me? I hurt my toe this morning and my mother didn't have time to give me a plaster." Especially as a foundation phase teacher, but also as a leader and a principal, you will be just as much a mother to those children as you are their teacher. The second story is quite interesting. It is the story about a boy, Nick, who was born in Greece. A war broke out in Greece, and his mother was abducted by soldiers. He, then 9-year-old, and his little sister ended up in America after 2 years in a refugee camp. He said, and I'm going to read from his script, "When my father led me and my 11-year-old sister to my first elementary school, the principal put the 2 of us in a class for the mentally retarded, since there was no facility in those days for non-English speaking children. I was 13 years old when our father moved us again, and I entered a junior high school in the beginning of grade 7. I found myself surrounded by richer, smarter, and better dressed classmates who were amused at my strange clothes and my heavy accent. Shortly after I arrived, We were told to select a hobby to pursue during club hour on Fridays. The idea of hobbies and clubs made no sense to my immigrant ears, but I decided to follow the prettiest girl in the school. And I landed up in the class of where the newspaper club was, and into the presence of Miss Heard, the newspaper advisor and the English teacher who would become my mentor and my muse. Miss Heard had no patience with layabouts. "What are you goof-offs doing here?" she bellowed at the would-be journalist. "This is the newspaper club. We are going to put out the newspaper here. If there are anybody who are lazy in this class, please go across the hall to the Glee 5 club, because here you are going to work your tails off." One day, after discussing how writers should write about what they know, she assigned us to compose an essay from our own experience. Fixing me with a stern look, she added, "Nick, I want you to write about what happened to your family in Greece." I've been trying to put those painful memories behind me, and I left the assignment until the last moment. Then, on a warm spring afternoon, I sat in my room and I stared out the window at the buds on the trees. I wrote that the coming of spring always reminded me of the last time I said goodbye to my mother in Greece. I kept writing, one line after the other, telling how the communist guerrillas occupied our village, took our homes and food, how my mother started preparing our escape when she learned that the children were going to be sent to re-education camps behind the Iron Curtain, and how at the last moment she couldn't escape with us because the guerrillas sent her with a group of women to thresh wheat in a nearby village. She promised she would try to get away on her own. She told me to be brave and hang a silver cross around my neck. Then we stand and looked while the ladies went down the ravine, up and down the bend, until they disappeared around the bend. My mother, a tiny brown figure at the end, stopped for an instant, turned around, and raised her hand to wave me a last farewell. That was the last time I saw my mother. We learned in the refugee camps about her execution. At the end of his speech, he wrote, "I felt very lucky to have come to America," I concluded. "But every year, the coming of spring made me feel sad because it reminded me of the last time I saw my mother." I handed in the essay, hoping to never see it again, but to my dismay, the teacher published it in the newspaper. I was very surprised to find my classmates acting with sympathy when they read my story. Without telling me, Miss Heard also submitted the essay to a contest, and it won a medal. He went on to tell about his career as a journalist, who won many awards and changed many lives. And it all started with one teacher who seized the opportunity to unlock a door for a learner, Nicholas Cage. You might not have realized it yet, but what you do as a teacher makes a difference, and what you say matters. Now is a good time to ask yourself, why are you here? Here on this mountain today, receiving this qualification, this key? But also, why are you living at such a time like this in this world? Why are you here? What are you supposed to do with the key that you received today? How can you make this world a better place? When you go back after today's celebration, start looking for the doors that your key can unlock and use it to make the world a better place. I want to summarize. Congratulations again. Well done for successfully completing your studies. and achieving this qualification. Enjoy this day and celebrate what you have accomplished. But remember, when you go back, that you have received a new key. Find the doors that it will unlock, so that South Africa, no, the world, will tomorrow be a better place. I thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Suzette Pelser, for the words of wisdom. Your remarks have been so stirring, and we are certain that it will make a lasting impact in all our graduates present here this morning. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker for today's program, Dr. van Rooyen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
A day like today is a very special and auspicious occasion in the lives of every one of you. I have been involved in distance education since 1982 for many years, and it is always a pleasure at the graduation to see you face to face. It's wonderful to meet you in person. It's such a special occasion like this is the culmination of 2 or 3 or 4 years of very hard work and many hours of sitting behind a desk, working your way through all those stacks of material to eventually pass the exams and to sit here today, to receive the recognition that goes with your qualification. And I have 2 stories that I want to share with you. The first one is about a Chinese proverb. I had the privilege of being invited to China to a symposium for their distinguished principals on a number of occasions, and I heard this story there for the first time. There is an old Chinese proverb, I believe it is attributed to Confucius, that says, "He not growing is dying." Now, if you think about this for a moment, it's rather drastic, isn't it? But it's true. Why? Because what is growth? Growth means that the situation, my life, my teaching, me as a professional changes. And unless I change, I have stagnated or is on a downhill slide and am dying. Whether it's bodily, whether it's spiritual, whether it's my marriage, or whether it's my professional career. This is absolutely true and powerful. And that is why I think you must definitely heed Mr. Pelser's advice. It's not my words. We all know life is about lifelong learning. And as teaching professionals, you are part and parcel of that process. Now today is the second part 2 of our autumn graduation ceremonies. And it's a very proud day for Edutel Higher Education. In this season, we will be awarding 265 diplomas and certificates to candidates all over the country. But today, here in Polokwane, 76 of the 180 students who did the advanced diploma will be receiving their diplomas, and 33 of the 85 students that qualified for the ACT will be receiving their certificates. And when I started making a few notes to speak to you today, it struck me rather forcibly. It is very symbolic that it is these two qualifications that are being awarded today. Why do I say that? The ACT for foundation phase, ladies and gentlemen, you are the most important people in our entire education system, because you lay the foundation on which that young child is going to build his entire academic career and his entire knowledge base that is going to make him or her a successful person in life. For that reason, I always maintain that there must be a special heaven for these people that teach in the foundation phase. And secondly, why is it so striking to me? The Advanced Diploma in School Leadership and Management equips us to manage ourselves in the classroom, to manage the department of which I am the head, or to manage the school of which I am the principal. And it is in your hands, whether you are a grade 1 teacher, or whether you are a matric teacher, or whether you are the principal, or after today maybe become the Director General of a Department of Education in a province. It is our responsibility to take this thing forward and to make sure that our children receive quality education. Now, I've had the privilege of traveling the world over the years, and whenever, especially after '94, whenever we got to a conference, people were excited about the South African education system, number one, because we have a special structure that is unique in the world in many respects. But we also have the best education legislation in the world. Like our Constitution, lawyers all over the world are looking at our country to see how we do things. And in our education system at the moment, we have 15 million children going to school annually. In 25,000 schools across the country. Limpopo has a large share of that. We have 447,000 teachers teaching in these schools. Of you are part and parcel. And because we are in this unique position where the world look at us, it is very disconcerting for me that there is a downside to this. In as much as I've been proud, I am also whenever I stand on a podium in the world. Why? There are two benchmarks among others that they use to express the quality or to measure the quality of the education in the country. The one is called TIMS, it stands for Trends in International Science Studies. And the other is PIRLS, it stands for Program for International Student Assessment. Now, TIMS measures science and mathematics primarily. And PIRLS primarily measures our children's ability to read with understanding. TIMS is applied to most of the 50 countries that took part in that. And if you cannot read, how can you learn? If you cannot read with understanding, how on earth are you going to manage science and math? And the results for TIMS are not much better. We are third last in the world. Only Pakistan and the Philippines are doing worse than us. What is that? Why do I say this? And why do I repeat this if it makes me so ashamed? It spells out the challenge we have. We, you and I, have to make a difference. You and I have to cause the growth that is required so that these learners that we teach in 10, 20, 15 years from now do not perform so badly in the world. And the irony is, of the 25,000 schools that we have, there are a handful of schools that can compete with the best in the world. They don't have to stand back for anybody. Not even those fancy schools that I saw in China that looks like universities. What we need to make. Came into power in 1923 after the Ottoman Empire was overthrown through revolution. Now he was the first president of the Republic of Turkey. And he was in power from 23 till 38, 1938, just before the Second World War. He did many things. He did wonderful things. He made education free in the country. He also opened many schools, and he introduced the Latin-based Turkish alphabet, because before that they used the Arabic alphabet. He also gave women civil rights and the right to vote. But the story that struck me, 5 years taught people that could not read and write to read and write. They used the village squares, they used the taverns, they used the chapels. Everywhere where people could meet, they taught people to read and write. And after 5 years, the literacy level of Turkey was 97%. What does that tell us? It tells us if we put our minds to it, if we take hands, and if we are serious about making a difference, it can be done. If Ataturk in Turkey could do it, South Africa can do it as well. Because every year, at the moment, 85% of our children in our schools are subjected to inferior quality education. That is why we have been consistently performing poor in terms and pearls for the past 20 years. My challenge to you is go and make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is what is required. And every one of you is both a manager and a leader. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you do, but especially in education. Whether it's in your classroom, whether it's managing a department, whether it's managing a school, whether it's managing a district or a province, you are a manager and a leader, and you have the responsibility to make a difference in the lives of the children of our country. I want to congratulate you on a job well done. Congratulations on completing your qualification successfully. And please go ahead, and like my colleague Mrs. Pelser said, use this key, use this tool to make a difference wherever you go. In the process, it's important that you remember who you are. It's important to remember your value system. It's important to remember your culture. It's important that we build the culture of our country. And I wish you well in your endeavors. May your successes be many. May your tribulations few and far between, and may everything that you so richly deserve in the years ahead be realized for you. It has been an honor and a privilege to observe part of your process of growth in your life. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. van Rooyen, for your insight, certainly most valuable. And thank you indeed for such a stimulating message. Your words will surely guide our graduates as they thread a new path in their lives. And we hope that your messages from both the speakers will motivate you to strive harder. Truly, this day, as Dr. van Rooyen has alluded to, is a combination of many years of hard work and dedication in the relentless pursuit of knowledge. We want to thank you and congratulate you for your efforts and encourage you to never give up in your quest for knowledge and lifelong learning. Moving on, the most awaited moment, the fruit of your hard work and discipline will finally be earned. To call the names of the graduates, may I request Mr. Ishmael Nalushi to the podium, and also Mrs. Suzette Pelzer to do the imposition of the hoods, assisted by Dr. van Rooyen to do the handshake for all our graduates.
Of people, sowing onto the life of a child, disciplining them so they can grow and be successful and independent human beings. I hope you all understand what that means. Moving along, I shall proceed to call our first graduate to the front for Advanced Certificate in Foundation Phase Teaching. As I call you to the front, you shall present your name card to me. Stand here so I can call your name. You proceed there for Dr. van Rooyen to handshake you while facing the camera, and then you will proceed for the belt. I thank you. Madielane Tsepo Matsiba, Advanced Certificate in Foundation Phase Teaching. Maputi Ana Mulandwa. Mabiti Georgina Maboja. Tabeli Francina Levino. Maslodi Eunice Mona. Virginia Shikwambani. Sihuale Velemina Mperwani. Maputi Sekina Mafechi Sidati. Muloko Betty Botuna. Nari Damaris Chuma. Tlou Veronica Ramashala. Matlou Nancy Shongwane. Khabo Daina Tebe. Messi Ramatsimela Macha. Ramasila Betty Malope. Rosina Mojaji Mudiva. Njekwana Daina Maleto. Leboha Petunia Kekana. Mabocha Magdalene Ramacholi. Makwena Oliver Lino. Mapula Margaret Lidwaba. I will now move on to calling our first graduate for the Advanced Diploma in Education in School Leadership and Management to the front. Martin Nzukula. Tunzuka Rose Manara. Mafana Abednego Shaban. Matume Peter Makwala. Rachel Ramukhotle Makati. Ramukone Hilda Sikalo. Zakani Philistas Kwadi. Moele Refilwe Matlakwana. Matabate Rahab Vuma. Masole Emily Mampuru. Libeba Mavis Maponi. Chiriro Violet Rambato. Ribuani Gloria Machau. Mukhanyezi Stella Malika. Eunice Mukhatla Mashilani. Makopi Grace Khechebe. Mchan Catherine Mpasele. Mugulwane Enika Masemuna. Eliakim Tabana Benjela. Doris Mohadi Chokwe.
step of the way, holding your hand and ensuring that you are here today to see yourself as a confirmed graduate as you sit here before us. So please let us acknowledge by a round of applause everybody that has assisted you to be here today. Graduates, today we would like to take this opportunity to express how proud we are and how far you've come, and also for flying the Edutel higher education flag so high. As Nelson Mandela once said, and I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world." And as our speakers have alluded to earlier on, go back to your communities. Let's go back into our societies and make a difference. Let us go back to build and to develop our children. The responsibility is on you. As the saying goes, and I quote, "Ingratitude is a grievous sin." And now, to express the sentiment of gratitude, I would like to call Mr. Oscar Bashin, the General Manager for Edutel, to do the vote of thanks.
Just for a moment so that you can all be seated. I was really preparing to sing for you today. Was I correct? Yes. I'm not going to take a chance in this moment. I'm not going to take a chance. After I heard this halalala, la and all these things, it's amazing. I hear the sounds of and a lot of things. I want them to hear what I'm saying. This I want them to sit down.
Santa Maria.
But I'm not going to get a chance to sing today because I know we're in the province of celebration. We were flying from Durban last week, and I was sitting next to Dr. Van Rooyen, and I said, and this is what I'm saying, I said, when we go to Polokwane, we're going to see a different type of people. If you ask me when I want to go to Johannesburg, I just refuse today. On behalf of Edutel Higher Education, the Institute wants to come humbly to your province and say thank you on behalf of the board, the management, and the staff. Thank you so much for allowing us in your province to render a service. I said to someone yesterday on my way home, we are the PS. Just listen to me. We are the PS. We are public servants. That's what we are. That's what we are. We are public servants. And today we just practice it in a beautiful, special way in your province. Thank you for allowing us to come to your school. Because we've got a marketing team in the province that come to your school and register you and making sure you understand the context of your qualification. And then all of a sudden you just roll in, get excited about what you're going to do, and today is your special day. We've got administration staff. Thank you so much for the team. I'm so scared to mention names, but there's a special group of people in Edutel that are taking care of your education structure, making sure that your books are ready, making sure that your assignments are attended to, making sure that when you enroll to write exams, there is a place for you to write. And we're making sure that everything goes according to plan. We don't get it right all the time, but we try, we strive. And today, personally, we want to come to you and say to you, special person, as special as you are, we want to say thank you. Thank you to the academics, you heard them. You heard them, they are people with great structures and levels. And we're so proud to be a part of this. And then most of all, I want to say to our CEO, the visionary, the person who loves you, who invests in education for many, many years. Thank you so much for being a part of this program today. It's not easy to close the office and to drive the N1 and to sit at a wimpy and just hope the rain will stop. But we was here, made it. Mama, we've made it. You remember that song? Mama, we've made it. We made it. There's special people in our midst. I want to say thank you to the people who help us with the venue. Are they here? Please take our gratitude and our appreciation back to Edupark. People ask, are we connected? We hope so. We hope so. We're not connected. We just helping each other. To Edupark and the management structure and everybody here who helped us to make use of the venue, not just for this occasion, but people come here for contact classes, am I right? In the past there was contact classes, you came here and you helped. Thank you so much. For the people who take the pictures, you must go and buy the pictures, guys. This is your moment. This is your moment. And I know some of us in our families, we might be the first to graduate. Show it up. Okay? Show it off. Just show it off sometimes. And to the lady, madam, we're so proud of you with your results, the lady in pink. We're so proud that, you're taking note of people who succeed. And where's the lady who said, my hobby? My hobby? Yeah, we're in the right province. And it was just gentle, but he's looking at his wife while she's taking the picture, and he's just making sure that he's in the picture. He's in the picture. Thank you, guys. Thank you so very much. Once again, please don't stop. I'm going to ask this question intentionally.
You as a teacher, do you want a television every year? You want a TV every year? You don't want it. No, I'm going to ask the question again. Be honest with yourself. Do you want a TV every year? Oh, do you know what I'm going to say? You guys know what I'm going to say. Are you sure you don't want a TV every year? You don't want. You're right, because you know the story. Steve Harvey told the story to us while he was in South Africa. We had a chat. And he said, and we asked him, why are you so successful? Why are you so successful? He told the story, he said, as a boy, 9, 10-year-old, he was in school. And he started. And the teacher looked at him and said, you will never make it. Look at the power of your words. You go back to school. You guys are on holiday? I'm so glad you got an opportunity to take a break. If you go to school, don't ever say to a child, to a young girl and a young daughter, you won't make it. Because Steve Harvey bought a TV to that lady. Every year the teacher told him that. Every year he made sure he gave her the TV. Why? Why? Because that lady must look at him every year on television. A successful presenter. And he made sure you remember the TV. He said, madam, listen to me. I want you not to miss me on TV because this is Steve Harvey. I'm successful.
There is Nancy Matsapula here who left a 2-year child in the car. The rain is entering. Nancy Matsapula.
Okay, can you guys please pay attention to me? Then I want to close out. Thank you so much for every little thing, especially to those who are going to participate in the new qualification. Thank you so much. God bless you and enjoy your journey and enjoy the party. I know there's going to be a party after this. Enjoy the party. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Bashi. In closing, ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, on behalf of our esteemed CEO, Edutel management and staff, we would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for attending today's event. We wish to take this opportunity to also congratulate you on your achievement on this momentous occasion. Allow the profound words from our speakers today to assure you that this is just the beginning of yet another successful journey. Embrace every opportunity and take on any challenges with a clear vision and purpose. And remember to dress up, show up, but never give up. And lastly, from Team Edutel Higher Education, halala. May I ask you all to please rise as the academic procession prepares to leave.
By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of Edutel Higher Education.